Now on Talking Solutions, the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation and also a wonderful local business helping to support them, Dunkin' Donuts. Jeff Gordon, you're the CEO of NCCF.
I am. Been there for about 19 years now.
Cancer sucks for everybody, but boy, when kids are mentioned, something is just wrong there.
Well, it's scary because children look up to us so much and are so dependent on the adults and everything that they have. And to see them go through what they have to go through, you question the fairness, you question everything about it. But I will tell you this, these children are special and they're given something within. They teach us every day what dignity and courage and hope and everything is all about. In many cases, Terry, they are the strength to their parents and to those of us that are trying to help them through this. But childhood cancer is a very tough thing and takes away things that no child really should ever be without. And so it's a privilege to be able to be with them and help them.
Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. We're talking about the kids who are affected directly by the cancer, but you also mentioned the parents and the families. It affects everyone in the family. Segue to talk about the 4th annual Adopt a Family Drive for NCCF. Charlie Moots is also here from Dunkin' Donuts. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's just a pleasure this time of year to help NCCF because it is a family. I have the opportunity to own a wonderful business that just brings joy to everybody when you walk into our stores, and it tugs on my heart sometimes when we do these things because I just can't do enough. But it gives the opportunity for our community, because we have 17 locations here in the city, to be part of this. Each one of our stores is sponsoring a family, and there'll be a little bio in the stores, talks about the family. And like Jeff says, it affects the whole family because some of these families will not have a Christmas if we don't participate and help out. And we do what's called a donut tree, and you can come in and just get an icon off the big door wrap in the store, and there's a needs list and a want list. And when you look at that needs list, sometimes it's just socks, underwear, t-shirt, a blanket. And then there's other things that we also help out with that people don't realize families need in this time and when they're struggling with the cancer. Basic cleaning supplies, they go through the sanitizer wipes daily. Children have to change their toothbrush daily. The brothers and sisters, being part of NCCF, we've had the opportunity to meet these families. And this is something else that I do as an owner. I deliver these with my managers and hourly employees. Some of us who think our life is tough have never walked in their shoes. And I give those other people the opportunity to come along and deliver. I have hourly employees. And the neat thing is after the 4th year, I've had 3 or 4 employees now that have gone through college and moved on and came back to me this year and said, "Are you doing this program again? I want to participate." Because I let my stores close early. Don't let Dunkin' Brands hear that. On a Sunday night, and we do a wrapping party and a pizza party, and they all get into it. And then whoever volunteers and signs up to deliver on their delivery date gets to go with. And they have employees that have left you and come back and said they want to be part of it. It's pretty intriguing. And the first year I wasn't mentally prepared for the deliveries. I don't know how Jeff does it every day, day in and day out. But when you go on some of these deliveries and you walk into the house and the dads start crying, the moms are crying, and then you just see things that you normally don't see. But then the joy you bring to them is unbelievable. And then you get in the car and you bawl your eyes out. You just can't stop crying. And then you go home and you have a whole different feeling of what we take for granted, the average person. It's just neat to do. It's really neat. And then also I was in one of my stores Monday and a guest came through and I was out front. As you can tell, I just talk to everybody. I'm a door greeter sometimes. And he asked if we were doing it. And then I went, yeah, we're a little behind this year, but we'll have it up. We'll be ready and we're going to deliver by the 11th of December. That whole week will be out. And he just thanked me. He goes, I like it. And some of the families give us a thank you and we post it back in the store so they can see it. And the neat thing is the community is wonderful and it's helping the neighbor. It's helping somebody down the street. Nobody really knows what's going on because once it happens to the family, they kind of go into this nest. And once you get involved with NCCF, you kind of see it and you just think differently. I'm just pleased to have Jeff as a friend now and be able to help the community and people within our community because we go from the Henderson to the Summerlin to the inner city. We go everywhere with these deliveries. It's just neat. And it's neat to have an organization that's out there helping us. And it stays here local. Everything we raise, it doesn't even go out of the city. It's just right down here, your neighbor.
Charlie Moots has, you said, 17 different Dunkin' Donuts locations around our metro area. And Charlie, you are so right on so many points that you've just discussed. Yes, Southern Nevada is an incredibly giving community.
Yes.
This community has such a spirit that I get to celebrate every week with Talking Solutions, and it's such a joy. And to be able to also invite Dunkin' Donuts in, because I love to shine a light on businesses that also are part of that giving community.
It's a pleasure. It's also part of my business. But you bring that gift back, we give you a cup of coffee and a donut, and our crew member should be saying thank you, because it's neat to get those hourly employees who they don't know, and then they get it. It's really neat to watch that progress. It makes that community grow better as a community, in my opinion.
You are so right. So for us to find out, to be part of this 4th annual Adopt a Family Drive, I spent a lot of time in the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru.
Well, I appreciate that.
So do I. I was asking them in the drive-thru last night, I said, can you compare by ounces what a medium is compared with a large in iced coffee? And they said, well, a medium is 24 and a large is 32. And I went, oh my Lord, I don't need 32. Let's go with the 24 and the iced coffee with the almond milk and the extra shot of espresso.
We'll keep you running all night on that.
Yeah, I wasn't done with my day, so I knew exactly where to head. But in order to participate, the dates of the drive, it is the 4th annual Adopt a Family Drive to benefit Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. It's just underway. How long will it go?
We'll be collecting until the 11th of December. And, we always have guests that bring stuff in, and there's somebody who volunteers every year to go back out to the family. So it's from now until December 11th, and then that week, December 11th through that following Sunday, we'll be delivering to the families. So all you have to do is come in, go to the donut tree, and pick out your ornament. It's a paper icon. It will have a need or a wish on the back, and then you bring that back in with the present, and then we will wrap it and present it to the family, and then there's a coupon on the bottom for a cup of coffee and a donut for you.
I like the rewards, but I think the true rewards are the way that you feel, and realizing that these families who have kids affected with cancer, they're so busy trying to take care of that child and the family and keep everything together that the idea of even taking care of Christmas might be beyond their means.
Yeah.
They may be just too stressed and busy.
Every year I've learned something through this, which is a pleasure on my end. But there was a young man, it might have been freshman in high school, and I saw a guitar in the corner, and everybody was wrapped around the child, and this was a sibling. So I just sat down on the couch and talked to him and just gave him 5 minutes of my time, and then to get a thank you letter personally from him the following week.
Really?
Well, I also showed up at his school because he had a concert, and I just showed up. Because the parents and the other siblings, when somebody has to go to Sunrise Hospital, you got to get a babysitter, you got to get a bus pass, you got to get coordination. That sibling is also not getting, I'll use the word normal attention, and there's that need. In what was a half hour out of my time, and it's nothing to give that young man some support in middle school and early high school for a teenage boy or a girl. I've lived through 3 of them now. It is trying at best as a parent, and then to have a sick child that you have to give all your attention to at home. And he didn't have a lot of stuff on his list, and I caught that because we had a bike, we had things, we try to take care of mom and dad. There's always the needs, but a lot of people don't ask. Because it's a big thing to get them to go through the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation and then say, well, we have this Adopt a Family program. Some people don't like to ask, and this is just a time to say it's okay. It's okay to ask, and it's okay for our community to support these people.
Best thing in the world is to make somebody else feel special.
Yes.
I would imagine that you're doing a lot of that. Jeff Gordon is the CEO also of the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. One of the things that Charlie just mentioned about the sibling, I would imagine you guys are dealing with this all the time, because when a child is being treated for cancer, obviously the family's resources and attention is laser focused on trying to do everything that they can for that child. But the other members of the family are missing out, and that can cause some issues.
Well, and it does. Charlie, one of the many, many reasons I love this man so much is you can tell by how he speaks where his heart is. And it trickles down to all of his employees and everybody. This one program is one of many that Charlie does for us throughout the year. He's there for everything for us, and he's a special guy and a valued friend. It's wonderful to see when somebody really gets it, and you can hear from Charlie that he does. And you're so right, both of you, as you talk about what it does to a family. This is a diagnosis of a family, not just a child. The siblings go through all sorts of emotions, and they qualify for every program that we have to offer that their brother or sister have. And we have our sibling support groups. We include them in our Camp Cartwheel, which is our big summer camp. It's all about the siblings and also the child, because they are forgotten. They're scared at first, and then all of a sudden as they go forward, they get a little resentful at times because they're forgotten a little bit. And, the family goes into their own world. It's a natural thing, and so we're there to make sure that they're not. We have Mom's Day out to make sure Mom can get out. We have tool time for our dads where they can just have groups. We are really looking looking at the whole family all the time, because the hard thing is, and the harsh reality, Terry, is that close to 80% of families that go through these tragic moments end up in divorce because of the pressures and everything that come with it, not just financially, but stress and everything else. So in our little part of the world here, we're trying to make sure that doesn't happen, and our numbers are better than the national numbers, and it's nice to have a small part in accomplishing that. We have to take care of the whole family.
All of the support that you are able to offer through the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation has got to be able to help strengthen and steel these families so that they have those resources and the support that they would not otherwise have.
And that's what our mission is. We work very closely with the medical teams that do such a wonderful job. Our very founder, Dr. Ronald O'Sees, was the first pediatric oncologist, hematologist that came here to Nevada in the very early 90s. Before he came, they couldn't be treated here. We were sending them out of state. And what he learned and understood very quickly is he could do a lot of things for him medically, as our wonderful doctors and clinics are doing now. But there's financial needs, there's emotional needs, there's educational needs, there's psychological needs. When I started doing this 19 years ago, we had one little program we were just getting started called Camp Cartwheel for 18 children. This summer we welcomed 220 children to Camp Cartwheel. And it's a whole 2-week camp now because we need to make sure everybody gets there. We started our education program, the Brett Trino Foundation Educational Services, named after one of our most wonderful donors. We have a full-time classroom at Sunrise Children's Hospital, the only one of its kind in the nation that is run and operated by a nonprofit. So these kids aren't missing school anymore. The siblings also get to come to that. It's not just kids in the hospital. We have 12 tutoring sites all over the valley to where we're doing tutoring and making sure the kids are going through, and that includes siblings. All 45 programs and services that we offer include the entire family in one way or another. So it's something that we need the community. We need the Charlie Mootzes of the world and of Las Vegas, and we need the community to do, because as Charlie mentioned, we're not affiliated with any national organizations or any government agencies. Everything we do and provide at no cost ever to the families has got to come from our local friends and neighbors here. And I am amazed every day at the generosity of this community. It's amazing the hearts we have here in Las Vegas.
Why we all love living here. There's
No
so
question.
many reasons besides the weather.
That's exactly right.
I'm believing that you don't just intake one kid, you intake the entire family.
Without question. And, you know, when the clinic or the hospitals refer a family to us, which they do within 24 hours of a diagnosis, we're in contact with that family within 48 hours. Our social workers will sit down with them as a family, and it's about a 2.5-hour assessment to find out where they are in all of the areas we've talked about, the financial, the emotional, the educational, the psychological. We have licensed clinical social workers that do counseling. Our social workers spend hours on end with these families to make sure that they're getting everything they need. And if we can't provide it for them, we find someone who can. No is just not in the vocabulary around there. We love what we do, and we do it with a great amount of love and compassion for these families. But it's an interesting scenario as these families come in and they become part of our family. And even as medical science is doing and research, great jobs with more kids getting through cancer now. And we're going through, now we're dealing with families later on that have long-lasting effects of what they went through even as children. So 6 years ago, we opened up and we brought the Caring Place under our umbrella, which is adults and children that were touched by cancer and all the healing arts that they can have there, all the support groups. And we just also took the Orion Foundation under our umbrella, which is now giving some financial aid to adults that are going through, that find themselves in trouble. And we've discovered through this whole process a whole population of children that was untouched in this community, and those are the children whose parents they're losing. And they're available now for all of our programs. And we had 27 of them come to Camp Cartwheel last year. And what a wonderful mix that was for them. They're in our education program. So we have kind of become, over our 23 years now, kind of a one-stop place for the entire family, adults and children alike. And we're so proud of that. We're excited that in 2017, we're going to move all of our services into one building, in a 16,000 square foot building that Britney Spears is helping helping us do. She's already raised $1 million for us. And
Really?
so we've got all sorts of great things happening and exciting things, and we continue to grow. But we do that because of programs like Dunkin' Donuts and companies like that who get it and jump on with us and become a part of our family, and we couldn't be more grateful.
Jeff Gordon is CEO of the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. Charlie Moots is also here from Dunkin' Donuts. Charlie, you guys are always doing something, because I remember this summer you were doing a water drive for people so that they would be taken care of during the hot summer months.
Well, if there's a need out there, I try to help. And having the ability to having 17 stores, I bring in the community. We got hot real fast this summer. The Salvation Army does what they call their street squad. It's the people who don't come to the facilities. They go out with these vans and deliver water, ice, and things throughout the nighttime, and then they do a daytime check, and they had a need. Bring in a case of water, I give you a cup of coffee and a donut. Great thing about my business, everybody wants a donut.
I want the coffee.
Yeah, right. It's an emotional treat. It's just something that everybody likes. It's simple to do if you just think about it, and we have the opportunity to do it. So my managers, I thank them every day. I hope I do, because they really support it. My crew know that. So I do a lot of different things throughout the community, but I try. And, the community supports me. The community is the ones that's making me what I am. They help me. So if I can give back to somebody who really needs, it's easy to just put it together. And it's great to work with somebody like Jeff, who's got it down. He's got systems in place, and it's local. Like I said, it's like your neighbor. And you come in this time of year, you'll even see there's things like bus pass. One mom only wanted a bus pass. I'm like, we're not just doing a bus pass for her. How old is she? What's she like? What can I get? I make a good call to somebody, and they'll say they need rent relief. With NCCF, they have a system in place where the money just doesn't go to the family. They help because they have learned, as you heard Jeff, it's an educational process. It's not just today that they're taking care of them. It's the future. And a lot of times when somebody gets sick in a family, somebody has to give up their job. It's just a given.
Sure, you need to be by that child right there.
Yeah, so there's a monetary need, and then there's a whole need of education on how to budget. I've had the opportunity to see what Jeff's group does. It's a big team, and there's a specialist in each aspect. And being a business owner, I think of things differently. And sometimes I get a little beat up about a budget and a plan and how it's going to work, But that was part of my interview process with Jeff. How does this work? What do you do? And he's always open. All his stuff's out there for you to look at. I was impressed with the educational part. Not only today are we going to take care of that kid and try to make it better, but then as they grow, the family grows, there's places for them to go. I mean, to have his organization grow the way it has in the last 23 years for our community with people who have a need. And there's a need out there. Unfortunately, it keeps happening. We can't figure this out. But there are cures. They're living longer. They're making them better. But there's also other needs because, unfortunately, it just never ends. I hate to say it that way. They have to go back in their 5-year checkup and they made it and all that. And that tugs on you. And for me, it's just if we can keep this community with Dunkin' Donuts stays here for another 20 years, we'll have this partnership for another 20 years helping the people down the street, just helping our people within our community. So partially, I guess it is me, and that's where you were going. I drive it. I have a big heart. I do like to help. And, even in business, what do you consider success? It's not all the money in the world for me. It's success to me this year was that one guest coming in and say, how are you doing this again here? The college kid now working at the city of Henderson. She's back with us. She says, what are you doing? I want to be here for the wrapping party. I want to go on the delivery because you do it at night. I can do it after my job. And maybe it's just different because my employees just don't drop it off. They get to go on the opportunity with family. And I'm going to tell you, once you've done that, that spreads. Every store, there's at least 4 or 5 people that will go. And there's also another one. There was one manager who didn't understand the program, never received, never really gave. And he was kind of grumbling, but he went, and now he is just there.
Light bulb went off.
We walked into the house, and he heard that the wife walked out 2 months after the baby was born. He's got 2 other kids. He lost his job because he was missed too many days of work. When there's a sick child, something else I didn't grasp. There's family who come together, and there's family that don't know how to handle it, don't know how to communicate. So what do? They just back off. It's just neat to see all the organizations, the systems, the programs offered. And I just have the ability to walk in with a dozen donuts and a box of coffee, and everybody's eyes just light up.
You're the most popular guy in the room.
And that's what it is. You come in with a pair of socks, you get a cup of coffee and a donut, you feel good donating, and you're walking out going, man, that's good. And then also what you see, my crew's telling me, I'm not in the stores enough to see it, it's repeat people. They get that cup of coffee and their donut, and they go, okay, I got it. And that's kind of neat. It's a great program. It's just sad that we have to deal with it. But if we can make somebody happy, and just make one day of maybe just forgetting what they're going through. Or the brother, the young man I met, he just had those few minutes that he was important. Or the grandma that flew in and gave up everything. We had one last year. Jeff probably hears the stories all the time. She flew in, gave her job up, and she's living in a 2-bedroom apartment with other people, and she's sleeping on the couch. They wanted a single bed to put in the corner for grandma to sleep on. And then I think she wanted, I'm not a bingo player, but she just needed a 1-hour break a week to go play bingo to get out of the house. And I'm sitting there going, I'm at that age where, grandchildren, hopefully the kids are listening. And you give everything up because people give everything up for their kids. This lady just needed a 1-hour break. We walked in and made this delivery, and I'm like, oh, you're all in this 2-bedroom apartment, and grandma's living here, she's helping, and they're running back and forth to Sunrise Hospital. And this was a family that after a year of it, they start to really, I don't want to use the word suffer, but finances disappear.
Yeah.
And they needed a bus pass, and grandma wanted a bus pass. And it just gives us the opportunity as a community to come in, read the bio, look at the list, walk out, give back. And once again, I make your day with a large iced coffee and almond milk. That's nothing compared to what you just gave that family.
We can all help. In fact, part of Talking Solutions is asking Charlie and Jeff, what can we do to help you?
Well, as far as the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation, right now with this season is come into Dunkin' Donuts and take a name and get involved in this program, because whether you realize it or not, you're making a tremendous impact on a child, on a family. And I think, Terry, when we look back at our lives and when we go through some introspection, I think the thing we see most of all is the times when we're happiest is when we're serving someone else and when we're doing something special. And that's what this program allows the community to do. And that's a beautiful thing. But we are always looking for help, from volunteers to the financial help, of course, to time and talents, and to go onto our website, nvccf.org. It's a wonderful website, and you will see everything about us, from videos to everything that we do and why we do it. Or even call the office and say, hey, we want to volunteer at 702-735-8434. We had a gentleman that came in that was at the gala, and he said, I had no idea you do all these programs and services that you do. And he gave us a sizable donation. He just said, I want you to have this. And these are the types of things that are just so very special for us. And of all the nonprofits out there, and there's many great ones, so we don't ask everybody just to come to us. Everybody, we have some wonderful community partners out there, but we do need help, and we do need the assistance to continue to do what we need to do. So whatever you can do, we ask you to do, and to include us in that giving heart that is so wonderful here in Las Vegas.
Well, and the positive splashback that you get, like, for instance, the donor that you referred to, the unexpected person who showed up to make a sizable donation, how good do you think he felt when he left?
I'm hoping he felt wonderful, and I'm sure he did. And I have a feeling that this was something very special that he and his family decided to do, and what a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Charlie Moots with Dunkin' Donuts. Same question to you. What can we do to help you?
Well, I just try to make it as easy as possible for you because, we have probably with the 17 stores, thousands of people walking in daily. Even if you're going through the drive-thru, you can ask for an icon. They can hand it out the window. You don't even have to get your car. We have, even like you talked about the summer drive with the water, we had cases of water coming through that drive-thru window.
I did some, yeah.
I understand that. And that's why I try to make it as easy as possible. And, hopefully you're going to get the warm heart out of it, but we will give you either that iced coffee or hot coffee and a donut, make you feel a little better right away. Instant gratification of the donut and coffee. We just try to make it as easy as possible. You just come in, you ask for an icon. It can either be a needs or one of the things off the wish list. And you're going to be surprised. Most of the items are pretty basic. There's always one crazy wish list thing, but we do try to supply them. And then some of them are really basic, but they're a need. Some people kind of cringe on furniture, but if you've ever had a sick child and they're on IV and they have other problems at home, the furniture takes a beating. So we take care of some furniture once in a while. Just walk into our store, look around, and like you said, usually once a quarter I'm doing something in my stores to give back to the community because it really is a great community. I know we get a rap that, we have the Strip. The Strip's a different world. We all know that who live here. And the people who work throughout our community are really wonderful people.
Absolutely.
I try to make it as simple as possible, easy for our community to come into a Dunkin' Donuts, ask for an icon. They'll give you an icon, bring it back in. We'll give you a cup of coffee and a donut, and we'll take care of the wrapping and delivering.
The 4th annual Adopt a Family Drive to benefit the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. Charlie Moots is with Dunkin' Donuts. Jeff Gordon also in with us, CEO for NCCF. We've only got a couple of weeks, and just like the holidays every year, time gets away from you really fast. So it's not a big expenditure of money money, and you don't even have to wrap it.
That's correct. And if you don't have the time and you're out shopping and you just want to buy a gift card, there's somebody responsible for all monetary gifts coming into the store. And then that list, we really try, and I get involved in it and take a manager out, and we do a little bit of shopping for every store. So even if you don't have time to shop, but you're going in between, you're out at the outlet mall, and you're going through that drive-through at the Dunkin' Donuts there, and you just want to spiff somebody $20 and tell them to go buy something, it's taken care of. It's neat in my stores to see my crew members get involved and really take it to heart, because they get involved, and like I said, we just make it easy for you. And we'll give you a cup of coffee and a donut so you can hopefully calm down, get through the shopping, don't lose your patience, all that good stuff that comes with this wonderful time of the year.
Truly wonderful, especially when you can make a difference to a family involved with the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. Guys, did I forget anything?
You did great.
You're kind.
I think we got everything out there plus some. That's wonderful.
All of the links, phone numbers, websites, as always, will be featured on our Talking Solutions page on Facebook, along with a podcast of our discussion today. Guys, it's great having you in. Jeff Gordon, CEO for the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation, and also Charlie Moots with Dunkin' Donuts, all the 17 stores here in town.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Morning.